Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about women traveling solo. Yes, that is the topic of conversation, and that is what we will be thinking about. So, thankfully, I have Candace here who's going to help us think about this in a whole new way. So, thank you so much, Candace, for coming onto my show, sharing your time and your perspective with me. This is truly a pleasure to have you. So, let's dive right in. When you think of women traveling solo, what does that make you think about?
It's a whole different world from when men travel solo. I think a prime example for me was when I was working in the corporate world and I would travel on my own. And nighttime would come and be like, okay, everyone was busy doing something, you'd have to go grab dinner. And I would always order room service. And it was just easier, it was safer. It was just, and my dad would be like, why would you order room service? Why wouldn't you go to the bar and, go be social? And I said to my dad, I'm like, Dad, if a woman goes to a bar at a hotel, it's like a beacon, like, woo, woo, ready for action. Like there's no, it's just different. It doesn't have the same vibe. It's just not the same thing. It's just the expectation is different. I was just never comfortable with it.
No,
So,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Like I've had my single season for a few years before I got into my relationship with my husband and before I started having kids and embracing that single season and traveling and moving around in life on your own is truly something different. And that's the reason why when you said this topic, I was just like, yes, how could we not think about this? Because people really need to realize like it is most definitely different when you go out to a restaurant, when you traveling cross country, overseas, or I mean, wherever you're going, people people misperceive little things in the smallest ways. Like I could just flip my hair over my shoulder because it's just in my way, and somebody's like, "Oh, she's flirting with me."
yeah.
Like, no, I'm like, my hair's literally in my way. Like, no, she's flirting with me. Oh my goodness, she might want me. Or just being nice and just having just a nice spirit and just saying, hello, how are you? Or, oh, I hope all is well. Like, oh, she wants me now. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Kindness, don't misconstrue my kindness for me being romantic because it's not like that. So it's like, has there ever been another like challenging moment that you've experienced when you were traveling alone?
Where do you want to start?
You can make a list. You can go down it, right? I guess your
So
top.
it all varies from, for example, one time I was in a restaurant and I wasn't traveling with work, I was backpacking, and I thought, okay, I'm going to treat myself to this. Well, it wasn't a treat. Like at the time, it was a treat meal. I got pizza and a Coke. And I sat at this little table for two, and there was a guy sitting next to me, and he struck up this conversation. He said, oh, we should join tables. And I was sitting there, I'm like, like if I say no, how awkward, right? And if I say yes, how awkward again. I ended up saying yes, and it was just all like exactly like you said, it was all misconstrued, the whole thing. Oh yeah, she said yes. I'm like, well, what was I gonna do? Like we're literally sitting this far apart. If I'd said no, you would have been like, oh, and it would have been really awkward.
Yeah.
So that's just one. There's been lots of examples of just, being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
traveling around on your own and just sort of, hugging your bag and just going, okay, this is, just got to keep my wits about me, be organized. Um, there was one time in broad daylight, I went to buy tickets in a train station and I was assaulted by the ticket agent. Like legit, like in the middle of a busy train station. You would never think that would happen at that moment. And it was just like I could do nothing. I could absolutely
Yeah.
do nothing. He was so much bigger than me, and I'm not small, I'm like 5'10. And it was just I was outmaneuvered. So, it's real, the danger is real, the perception is real. And just when you think middle of the day, sunny day, buying a ticket, you think, okay, this is not the moment that I should be worried about. And that's when stuff happens.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think it's the saddest thing because it's like there's no desire, no nothing. I'm just like just doing something common as buying a ticket and then you think it's the perfect opportunity to harass me or to put that pressure on me. I mean, that is it's a lot. I mean, people don't realize like it's easier to travel in numbers, yes, but it's also not as easy because you have more things to now you have to worry about. You know what I mean? Now I have to worry about this person, along with everybody else that's surrounding me, and surrounding us. So, but when it's just you, it's like, you have to take that into consideration. Like, will I be able to get out of this situation? You know what I mean? Like, just that sitting next to somebody. Like, I would have been like, well, you're already sitting there. Why come over here? Just sit right there. Stay there. We can continue to talk, but you don't have to come to my table. We don't have to combine tables. Like I've been in restaurants before and I love eating alone. You know what I mean? It's truly peaceful to go to a restaurant, order food, eat what you want. Excuse me, no pressure. You know what I mean? Pick whatever you want. Go to the movies. You know what I mean? But watch whatever you want to do. Enjoy that moment for yourself. But then it gets real. No, excuse me. It gets real when other people see it as an advantage. Like, oh, maybe this is my time to make my move. I mean, I know those were like little moments that were intense, but was there ever like the scariest moment where you thought like, okay, maybe your life is on the line?
Um, yeah, I wasn't alone, ironically, and I was with two other women, and we were in Africa, and these people just kept coming up to the table, coming up to the table, and offering us everything from, a good time to drugs to, just whatever.
Yeah.
And we were just, no, 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 we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Thanks, thanks, thanks. So finally, somebody else came up, standing behind me, and he was like leaning over, and I just was so done with it. I was so done with it. I lost my thank you very much, like, oh, so kind of you to offer me, you know. And I just said, look, we don't want anything. We don't want any drugs. We don't want anything. And he just looked at me and, oh, I still get shivers. Like the threat this man like breathes down my neck. And he didn't touch me. He didn't do anything, but his words were so scary. I actually was very worried. Like I thought, okay, he could follow us. Like this could be it. He did threaten, like, you know, bad things. And he said, "Oh, how dare you accuse me of, I was just coming over to say hello. How dare you accuse me of, drugs and who do you think you are?" And he just went for it. And I was just, and he gripped my arm, and I had bruises on my arm after, but it wasn't like I could handle that. It was just the intensity of his threat and the promise and the that we could bury my body somewhere that no one would ever find me again. And I was like, yeah, pretty sure you could. So,
Yeah.
and it's funny because there's this line in terms of, you have to be polite when you decline. And this desire to just be like, go F yourself. I'm not interested. Please just leave me alone. And it's not, I didn't come here with a sign. I'm just sitting here. I'm having a drink. I'm watching sunset. I'm doing like nothing. And, you know, it's it's this constant thing where you have to respond with kindness or with, oh, thank you, meek, like, oh, it's good, thanks. Because any kind of aggression is met with 10, 20-fold slam back at you, and it instantly becomes a threat. And
Yeah.
it's just not, it just is so frustrating that you end up having to cower to something. Um, because it'll end up better for you. It's stupid. Like you're dumb if you go too far, and if you don't have your best interest at heart if you're kind of coming back pretty hot. You need to, bite your tongue and just do it. But that one time I didn't, that one time I was frustrated, that one time I was hot, that one time I'd had enough, And then it just slammed down on me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could be in a lot of trouble here.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And I know what you mean. And I'm glad that you said it in that manner because I don't think people realize that because there's always men or women that say, "Oh, well, why would you put yourself in that situation? Or why didn't you just leave? Or why this or why that? Like you must have liked it or you must have had this or that if because any other sane person would have just upped and laughed or just demanded to leave or walked out or what." But it's like people need to realize like it's about surviving at that point. And sometimes just having to submit and to just to say whatever that needs to be said to so I can get out of there out of my for my own safety is real is really real like I'm 5'1", you know what I mean, like I'm a shorty 40, like I'm shorty and I know when these giants come around me and I know who I can really come at and who I can't come at because the ones that I can't come at I have to like act the part and show up in a certain manner so that I know that I will be able to walk away because I've been in situations where I was visiting my mom in Miami and I was going up to a hotel. I didn't know that she booked a hotel room in a bad area and there was a pimp out there and he took a picture of me and it already went to the black market and they were ready to pick me up and kidnap me and sell me out and I literally had to flee all the people that were coming at me like to a degree that I was just like I'm sorry ma I cannot come back in this area. Like I can't even come see you. Like I can't. Like this is something that I just can't even do. Like you have to get yourself out of there yourself. And luckily she had her husband and you know what I mean? So they were okay. But at the end of the day, like me, myself as a single woman that was attractive with you know what I mean? That's I couldn't go back there. And it's like some people don't realize like there's certain places that women just can't go alone, you know, but I guess to be in a positive note, like what is like the best place that you ever traveled?
The best and easiest place I've ever.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. You know, sounds so bad. I don't think there is a best place. Like in terms of
In your
safety,
home?
I really, I would struggle to say, for example, I lived in London, England for 10 years, and it's the only place I got robbed. Everywhere else, I never got robbed anywhere else because I had my guard down, right?
Oh,
So I actually had, the old myth of the person that comes up to you with the map for directions and they say, "Oh, watch that person." I actually had that happen to me. I couldn't believe it. And I had just gone to the bank machine. I was working. I was meeting my friend. I said, "Okay, I'm just going to go get some cash and I'll meet you." And so back in the days when everyone needed cash, so I went to get cash, walking back, and then this girl approached me with the map and said, "Oh, can you tell me, where it is and everything?" And I had kind of a shoulder purse or whatever. And I was giving them great directions. I'm like, "Oh, you want to go there? I'll tell you how to get there. So take this street there." And she wasn't really listening. And I'm like, "Okay, she's not listening." And then the guy she was with started to come up behind me. And then I caught him red-handed, like he had my wallet in my hand and in his hand. And I started screaming. People were walking down the street. I'm like, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." And everybody stopped, like all the pedestrians stopped. And I said, "This person is trying to rob me." I took my wallet back. And so one guy, there was loads of people. One guy came up and said, "Oh, is that yours?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "That's mine." I checked it. My money was there. They said, "Oh, we found it on the ground." I'm like, "You're so full of shit. Like, get out of here."
yeah.
So, but there was the one time I got robbed. I was trying to do, and I was excited because I can tell you, I can help you out. It's so naive. Anyway, but so it actually does happen. In all the other places, I traveled all around the world. I was very diligent with my money and just, not sort of working out just very thoughtful with how I approach things. And I wasn't robbed anywhere else. I can't say that I didn't have a bad situation in every single country I went to. And how sad is that? Like every single country. There's not one place I could say that nothing happened. Um,
Wow.
and I think that just said something generally. Like even when I was traveling with work, so backpacking is one thing. One time I was working in London, I did quite a lot of traveling to Brazil and because it was overnight flights. I would fly business class, and it was those seats that would lie down, but you would see other passengers at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man. So I sat facing this dude the whole time. And I thought, oh, this is so not good. And he's kind of, giving me and I'm like
Ugh.
crying out loud. And it was so awkward sleeping and this man watching you. Even in this, because there was more space. Like usually on the plane, you're kind of squishy and you just kind of style it out. But when you're sort of lying down facing each other, so, anyways, that was very uncomfortable. And obviously, he approached me after we got off the plane and tried to ask me if we wanted to meet up for dinner. And I'm like, oh my God, no, we were just on the same plane. Like, this is not something. Anyway, so yeah, I can't say there was one place that was safer than the others. I think it's just about how you treat yourself in those places and how you carry yourself. And, you're thoughtful. I mean, everything from looking people in the eye to not looking people in the eye to, sucking in your tongue when you need to and not saying anything. And that's so frustrating because it's like, why can't I say what I want to say? Well, because it's dangerous.
Exactly. Exactly. Like my one thing that I was always taught is to always have a resting bitch face, but that doesn't always work. You know what I mean? Like I perfected my resting bitch face. It's to the point where people think that I've like either killed somebody, that I'm just like I've literally had some guy was like, you know what? I want to talk to you, but I kind of don't because your face looks like you just murdered somebody. So I'm gonna just let you be. And I was just like, yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? And I was just like, and then another guy was just like, why are you so angry? Like, it's early in the morning. How can you walk into a gas station just angry? I'm like, this is my resting bitch face. Like, relax. It's not that serious. We don't need to have a conversation at 8 o'clock in the morning. If anything, continue on your day. I need 20 bucks on pump 10. You know what I mean? Like, I just need to keep it going. And then I had this one girl, she literally stopped me on my way to the, about to put gas in my car. And she's just like, you got the best resting bitch face ever. You should teach some people because I have no idea. And I was just like, girl, don't do that. You're ruining my resting bitch face. Like, there's a reason why I have this so that people don't talk to me. And yet here you are. All these people are just wanting to talk to me. Oh, and I hate it when people be like, you should smile. Like the guys are like, you should smile. Like, no, if I wanted to smile, I would. I'm not trying to smile at you because you look like a perv and a creep, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I understand. Like sometimes just talking is not helpful. Like I remember one time I was just shopping with my sister and her and my nephew at the time. And this guy was like, ooh, you look like my next future wife. And I was just like, stop right there. Stop. I'm not trying to deal with this right now. I'm with my family. Just leave me alone. Go somewhere else. Like I was forward, I was straight. My tone was mean. Like I was on purpose. And my sister pulled me aside. She was like, Mitzi, you can't do that. You can't just talk to these guys like that. Because didn't you just hear on the news this girl? She denied a guy and she got beat up. And like the guys literally jumped her when she was in her car, like about to get into her car because she denied her. She denied him. But it's just like, why do we have all these insecure guys out there that can't handle rejection, or even women? Why can't these individuals can't handle rejection or can't handle their place? And why do I have to continue to modify myself to make myself pleasable for the world? Like, no, have respect, have understanding, have this dignity, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And it's very frustrating. Oh my goodness. We can literally continue on talking about this and for hours in so many different directions, Candace. Like it's surreal with how ridiculous people are. But unfortunately, time is truly catching up to us. So what can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking?
I think just be true to yourself. As much as I have a different approach from you. I would just say, oh, thanks, not interested, and just try to be like more ha ha ha. Oh,
Well,
and joke.
yeah, I've done that, you know what I mean? But I was already so pissed off. Like I just was having such a bad day that I was just like, I'm done. I'm gonna be completely honest. But usually that's how I am. I'm very like demure, very kind. Like, no, thank you. It's okay. That's nice. Haha, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Got spicy that one day, and I ended up in my bad situation. Not as bad as your situation, but ended up in my very much, I still kind of sweat a bit when I think about it. Um, so yeah, I would just say be mindful, be safe. Like I said, the only place I got robbed was where I lived and when I let my guard down. So, be thoughtful about how you carry yourself. It's gonna happen. If someone really wants to do it, it's gonna happen, right?
Um,
So, but if you're thoughtful and you take care of yourself and just present. I think being present as well and just
yeah.
not sort of being spacey. I had my phone one time. I was walking up the street and I lived in quite a bad area of London and I was texting and I looked up and there was this kid and he was about 12 and I went, oh shit. Because I knew I couldn't cover my phone fast enough before he was going to take it. And he just took it out of my hand and ran away. And I was like, dang. But it was me, right? I was texting someone and just not paying attention. And I looked up and he was right there. And it just like it was gone. He was gone and it was over. And so just being mindful and thoughtful and present and you know, just taking care of yourself as best as you can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think those are true words that for everyone to consider, man, woman, whatever, if you're traveling or just in general in life, because at the end of the day, if somebody really does want to see you as their next victim, then Oy, well, you might be their next victim. You know what I mean? Because some people, they have their selfish goals, intentions in mind for whatever going on in their own life that they truly don't care about anybody else's life because they're hurt and they don't mind seeing the world burn. So that's something that we all need to remember is that how we handle ourselves and how we manage the world and how we go about in the world truly, truly does impact us in a way. And yeah, being present, being aware, being paying attention to your surroundings, just paying attention in general, just like that can save you thousands. Oh my goodness, that has saved me thousands by paying attention. And I mean, there's been so many studies by like serial killers who says how do they choose their victims? And they always say the ones that look weak, the ones that look needy, the ones that are not paying attention. Though I mean, they go through every type of description. It's like reality. Like we have to really pay attention because we never know. We truly never know. And we only have one life, so we might as well protect it to as much as you can. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, Candace, we really can go down this avenue in so many
I
ways. But
know.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this conversation, because how could you not? Am I right? How could you not? Please go check out Candace. I have her website on in this audio in the description, or if you're on YouTube, in the description as well. Or if you're on my website, find her lovely photo, click on it, and it goes directly to her website. Have access to all of her books, all of her great content, so that you can continue on thinking. Because isn't that the point? Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen, for us to continue on thinking. So, with that being said, bye.